welcome to this lesson on heat maps. So we're going to be talking about heat maps and how we can create heat maps to visualize and analyze our data, and they're really great heat maps for analyzing the distribution of data and the disparity clusters of that data. Okay, so we can look across these two dimensions. They're really useful when we're looking at, say, touches, and we want to look on a pitch. We want to say, hey, what is the distribution of the touches on a pitch or the passes? Where are they starting passes from? Where are passes being put into? So we're just going to create a simple heat map looking at passes in this section, but this heat maps are very useful and you can use to a wide extrapolation of different data. Okay, so we're going to be using the same StatsBomb data for the World Cup final. So let's go ahead and let's just import pandas again. So say import pandas as PD, and then from StatsBomb pi import SB, and we'll say df equals sb.events, and then we need to get our actual data. So match underscore ID equals 3869685, like that. And then if we want to, let's look at the columns. So say df.columns so we can know which ones we actually want to be working with again. So now that we have our columns, like we've done in previous videos, what we need to do is we need to filter it down to just our passes. So we have seen that the passes are in this type column. So if we filter the type down, we can just get our passes. Okay. So we'll say df equals df bracket df type is equal to pass, like that. So after we have filtered it down like we have done, we also need to fix the location to get our x and y values. Like before, we just say df bracket x, y, and then two more brackets equals df location dot apply pd.series. Okay, so that's the same thing we've done in previous videos where we're just extracting the x and y values. And then the next thing we need to do is we just need to basically figure out what is the actual pass outcome that we're looking for. We just want to look at successful passes. So if we come in here and then we see that they have this column pass outcome. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what's actually in this pass outcome column. So we say df pass underscore outcome, and then we do dot head 50, like that. That basically is the first 50 rows. So as you can see, it's NaN, out, NaN, 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 incomplete, unknown, incomplete, offsides, unknown. So basically what they're doing is they are just leaving it as this NaN value, which basically is null or none. There isn't a value there. And they're only marking it if it is not a successful pass. So we can assume that this right here was a successful pass. And because we can assume that because we have already filtered down to our pass type. If we had not filtered down to our pass type, then this could have been anything of any sort of type, right? So these are only passes, and since we know this is just our pass values, we can assume that any of these NaNs are going to be completed passes. So what we can do is we can filter the data frame down based on just these NaNs right here. To filter it down, we just use our typical filtering on data frames. So we say df equals df bracket df pass underscore outcome. Okay, and then we do dot is NA, like that, with a bracket. So two parentheses in a bracket. So that is just going to say the data frame is equal to this filter of any row where the pass outcome is this null value. We want to keep that row, otherwise get rid of it. So if we run that, that'll filter it down for us. And then that's really all of the preparation that we need to do. Now we can use MPL Soccer to actually plot this heat map for us because they have built it on top of Matplotlib and Seaborn to make it super simple to plot onto their pitch. So let's go ahead and we'll just say from MPL Soccer, import pitch, okay? And then let's create our pitch. We'll say pitch equals capital pitch like that. And we'll do pitch type is equal to StatsBomb because we're working with StatsBomb data. And then we'll say pitch underscore color equals white like that. And then line underscore color equals black. And we'll do line underscore Z order equals 2. So those are just some of the different arguments. So this one is going to make the color of the lines black. And then this is just basically of all the elements that are on this graph, which one should be on top, bottom, which one should be the highest, lowest, okay? So we just use a number to basically define the order that we want to plot them on. Then after we have done that, let's just create our little canvas. So we say fig comma ax equals pitch.draw. And if we run that, we now get our actual canvas that we're going to plot on. So let's filter this down just to a temporary data frame that has all of Argentina's passes. So to do this, we can just say df underscore arg equals df, and then we'll do our filtering again, df, and then we'll do df team underscore ID is equal to Argentina's team ID in StatsBomb is 779. And I just know this because as I was creating this data, but you could go and find the two unique ones. So Argentina is 779, France is 771, okay? So this is going to give us a row of all of Argentina's passes. And then to actually create the heat map, all we have to do, it's called a KDE plot. So all we need to do is just say KDE equals pitch.kde plot like that. And then we'll say the first argument is going to be our X values. So df underscore arg, so Argentina dot X. And then our second argument is going to be the Y values. So df arg dot Y. And then we'll say fill equals true. So this will make it so it goes to the edge of the pitch, so there won't be any white space, essentially. And then we'll say thresh equals 0. And then n underscore levels, we want to say equals 100. So this basically just smooths out the heat map. So the higher the number, the smoother it will be. The lower the number, the more rigid it will be, and the less and the more distinct the difference in numbers will be. And then another one will say cut equals 10. And then we'll say AX equals AX, like that. So now let's go ahead and run that. And it might take a sec, but that is our simple heat map of the starting pass locations because we just used the X and Y, right? If we were to go and use the end X and the end Y values, then we would probably have something where the darker areas were up here. So since the X and Y were back here, it is more densely clustered back here. So we can assume more passes started back here. So this starts to get really interesting when we're starting to look at this from an analysis viewpoint because we can start to see, they're making a lot of their passes. Their center backs and their back line are doing a lot of passes, most likely probably trying to get value and kind of play a possession type of game. If you saw the World Cup final, you do remember that Argentina for the first 70 minutes kind of dominated the game, where their midfield and back line had higher possession of the ball. Like, this is pretty high possession. And typically as well, when we're looking at starting passes, there's going to be a higher pass accuracy rate between center backs and midfielders in the back line than there will be between forwards trying to play it in between the defenders, okay? So usually you'll get something that looks like this with more passes. Teams that pass the ball more usually do more so in the middle of the field as they work their way up towards the goal. Another thing I find interesting is that if you remember the World Cup final, Argentina was playing a lot of their time down over on the left side of the field. So we can kind of see that it is a little bit darker higher up the field on the left side. than it is on the right side. And that is because there really wasn't a right wing presence for Argentina, where Di Maria was basically tasked with getting in behind. I believe Koundé was playing right back, so they were trying to get in behind Koundé. I could be wrong, but whoever the right back was, they were trying to get in behind him with Di Maria. And that is essentially what happened most of the first half. So then just a last thing we could do here is let's just set a title. So we say ax.set_title. Then we'll do Argentina starting pass locations on success. Starting successful pass locations versus France. Okay? Finish it with a quote. And then that gives us our title. So that's just kind of a simple heat map that we can create. One last thing we can do with these is we can start to change the color. So if you wanted to change the color map, so this was just the default blues. So if you wanted to come up here, you can change the color map by saying CMap equals, there's one called Plasma that a lot of people like to use. So that will change it more into like a molten. That one's a little bit easier to see kind of the contrasting colors. It really doesn't matter just as long as it is easy to understand and convey the information that you're trying to convey. So like all analysis, all data, all visualizations, it is important to use this as kind of your starting point of understanding what really was happening in the game. So now that we have this, we can start to apply this to more things than just passes. Like we could do this with shots, we could do this with dribbles, we do this with tackles, okay? So we can start to see this type of information and kind of start to get more understanding of, okay, where are most of their actions happening? And then we can start to understand, okay, what type of position are they playing? And there's a lot of cool things that we can start to draw from these analysis. So that is a heat map. That is how we can create a heat map. Super cool, super helpful, and a really useful visualization to have as part of your analysis tool belt. So that is it for this one, and I will see you in the next video.